As some of you may know, I am home to some of the worst, honestly, most stereotyped and just generally harassed fandoms on the internet. And that's unfortunate because honestly, the stereotypes are sometimes true, but I generally don't fit underneath any of those, and I know a lot of people don't either. But while people may complain about some of the stupid things that these fandoms do, what I'm here to talk about today is internet haters. This can come from fandoms, this can come from YouTubers, this can come from absolutely anybody. And today I'm going to be digging up all that good bullshit on the internet that makes no sense and is generally just irrational and makes you want to vomit your eyes out. Don't do that though. It's not healthy. So, how this is going to go is it's of course a rant. So I'm going to rant on internet haters. But at the same time, I'm going to throw in a little bit of a twist, not really. I'm going to find some comments and I'm going to read them and I'm going to say everything that is wrong with them. Now, I'm expecting to get some hate comments on this video. If I don't, then, good job, internet, You exceeded my expectations and you did good. But if there are hate comments, I will gladly read them. If they're complete bullshit and they're not a troll, then I'm probably just not going to reply to them. So, just keep that in mind. And, without further ado, let's begin. Internet haters. What more is there to say about internet haters that has not already been said by practically everyone on the internet? Well, not too much. I do want to say something, though. I'm not going to stoop down to a level. I'm not going to just completely yell in their face. I'm going to try to be rational, but I'm not going to be nice. I want you to keep that in mind. Come in here open-minded. Internet haters seem to leech off of things, and that's not always the case, because internet haters are based off of an opinion, and that is disliking something. But there's a fine line between disliking something and being a hater. You can dislike something on the internet, you can leave your opinion, but there's a key little thing in there that separates the two. And that key thing happens to be my opinion. In my opinion, I don't think. You're referring to yourself. You're referring to yourself, and you're being rational. You're being rational. That is a huge part of it. A lot of things that haters do involve just saying it, giving it no opinion. They're saying it as though you're wrong, you're completely wrong, everything should be like this, and everyone agrees with me except for you. And that's generally not the case. Now, another thing a lot of internet haters do is they get into an argument. That's, generally what they're trying to do. When that other person comes in, it makes you want to hate both sides, because they somehow trick the other person into becoming irrational as well, and they're just both flinging insults that they copy and pasted out of a notepad document. And you may be wondering, why Notepad? Why not Microsoft Word? Because cheap jokes come from Notepad. Expensive jokes, you gotta pay a few $100 to get those. And honestly, it's just a waste of time. There are much bigger issues you could be focusing on, other than someone that doesn't agree with you, other than you just wanting to make someone feel bad, other than you being an asshole. There are much bigger things you could be spending this effort on, trying to change, trying to do this. Why does it bother you that people like something that you don't like? Is it just because you want attention? There are much better ways to get attention as well, and they involve putting effort into things other than just complaining about stuff that probably doesn't even exist. And if it does exist, you're making it a hyperbole. Now, like I said, I found plenty of opinions on the internet, and I'm fine with those. You have a right to share your opinion, and I've shared my opinion on the internet too, but just keep in mind, if your opinion is something super snarky like that, don't give an excuse. You didn't have to post it there. You know someone's going to get mad at you for that. And you know, somewhere deep inside, even if you're getting some sort of kick out of making them angry, you're still stressed, and you're creating stress, and it creates stress on both ends. And, yeah, I'm one of those people, I have to admit, who likes to go through and try to read this stuff, because I try to make sense of it all. I try to go through, and I like to read hate comments. As just tense and, ticked off as I get sometimes, I still like to look at that stuff. I don't know if I'm just evil to myself, but I know people like this, and something I've noticed a lot is being excessive. Being excessive. People will just keep posting the same thing, post numerous comments on one video, go on to all of their videos and leave something. Dislike videos for fun, just because they feel like it. And that can really screw someone up. There are people out there, and I know this, who can actually get affected by that stuff. If they're getting that much hate, there are people who get really depressed over that. And it's true for about half of haters, maybe even more. Maybe it's starting to decrease. I don't know. They just don't give a shit. They don't care. And like I said, I don't want to be a complete jerk to haters. I don't. Because they're real people too. They are real people, just like us. But the thing they have to keep in mind is that they're talking to real people as well. And like I said, everyone has feelings. Everyone reacts different ways, and you never know. You keep pressing their buttons too much, you're eventually going to find the self-destruct one, and you're going to be screwed. So, next thing. So the next thing actually pertains to YouTube. And my next rant, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this right now, is going to be on YouTube monetization, how it works, because so many people complain about it. But if you really just hate a YouTuber's guts, and they have monetized their channel, and you decide that you're just going to go on one of their videos, and you're going to post something, even though you're barely watching anything, you're still making them money. And as stupid as it is to go onto their videos and just, comment there, as stupid as that is, as much as you're opening a can of worms, you are also giving them money. And I don't think a lot of people realize that they're actually doing that. And a lot of people, when they figure it out, they kind of go into an insecure bubble and they go, I don't care. I don't care. And then they go back, and every time they're replying, what are they doing? They're going back onto the video and giving them more money. So, here, you just keep making yourself look bad. And that's another thing. You're just making yourself look bad. And a lot of people think that majority of YouTube comments are hate comments, and they're not. While almost every big YouTube video has a hate comment on it, they actually aren't. And the thing is, people just don't know how to ignore it. And that's a problem. People don't know how to ignore hate comments. When they see one, they want to reply. They want to get mad, and they want to go into their face, and they get really mad, and the other person gets really mad, and they're just pretty much throwing steam at each other, and they both get really angry, and they don't know how to pass it. And so when that happens, all of those hate comments become the top comments. And those are the only ones you see, because they have hundreds and hundreds of replies, and hundreds of either likes or dislikes. People getting a kick out of people agreeing with them, people disagreeing with them, people hating their guts, and they're just going straight up to the top, and everyone goes, wow, this guy's comment sections suck. And they actually don't. We just suck at ignoring hate comments. So, before we go on to another topic, I'm going to hunt down some hate comments. So, I'm going to try not to dedicate too many comments to each thing. So, I actually do not have comments for this first one. I have a negative review and a couple of critic reviews on Metacritic for Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Because that is one, I guess, fandom I'm part of. Although I'm not a FNAF fanboy, I'm not super obsessed with the game. I just like it. I think they're fun. So, since this series gets so much hate, why don't we look at some stuff for the fourth game? Why don't we? Okay, so here we have not recommended. And I'll tell you everything okay and everything bad with this. This is not recommended, 0.2 hours on record. I'm not going to say any names because it might offend people. I don't know. Don't be fooled. The game is very reminiscent of the first. It relies on tension to scare you, but with the lack of power management and the garbage directions the game gives you, it's more frustrating than scary. The game is also very boring, just like its predecessors. You can still honk Freddy's nose, though, so it's got that going for it. Okay, so the game is very reminiscent of the first. It relies on tension to scare you. Yeah, that's typically what most people want in a horror game. The lack of power management... Really. It's more frustrating by having less to do, apparently. That's a thing. The garbage directions. This is the only game where a dude isn't vaguely telling you how to do stuff. He literally, straight up in your face, says, do this. You hear breathing here, you do this. That's all you do. You close... It tells you, basically. It's boring. That's an opinion. Okay, whatever. And then a little snarky comment at the end. Okay, a lot of negative reviews do that. So, I'm not really going to judge it too much for that part. Let's read some reviews on Metacritic. Usually people on Metacritic are either really kind to the game or they just completely, take a dump all over it. It doesn't really matter how they actually feel about the series. Oh, yes. This one. A new low for the series. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is a poor effort in almost every respect. An exercise of mediocrity better suited for YouTube than for an actual playthrough. Yes, the one game that relies on heavy sound, where a lot of times on YouTube you can't actually hear the sound over the person talking, and all the person really does is just sit there and not actually say anything. Yes, it's much better fitted for YouTube. Clearly. I don't know where we went wrong. And Level Up, that was a little bit harsh. Gonna go and say that right now. A little bit too harsh. So, let us move on to some actual comments. Why don't we? So, I figured, instead of looking for specific comments for the rest, I would, in fact, summarize what I've seen over the years. Because for years on end, I've been seeing hate comments. And then I'll give a final little thing at the end. I've seen just crap. Just copy and paste it. And this is where my notepad argument comes in. It's just things like, this game sucks. This game is horrible. You look like butt. I mean, they're just like these stupid comments that have zero maturity, zero criticism, zero constructive anything. It's just the same stuff we've been seeing all this time, pretty much since the dawn of the internet. Maybe not quite that far back, but for a long time. Definitely, there's been hate on YouTube since it started back in 2005, and there's been hate all over the internet before that, and there were people, there's always been hate. Come on, there's always been hate everywhere. Even when the internet didn't exist, hate just happens. It's a human emotion, and for some reason, people just have been taking it to extreme hyperboles, and that's never happened before. I don't know what that would allude back to. Maybe, I don't know. Like, oh, I don't know, every year ever. Oh my god. I mean, it's just all over the place, too. And people bring in all sorts of other hate on the internet. Racism, sexism, being just offensive in general, being completely irrational. And the bad part is, you can't change anyone's mind with logic. They're being completely illogical, and they don't give a crap. They don't care. And you try to tell them, oh, no. And then they'll be like, no, you, or something. And they keep saying the same stuff. And honestly, all they're doing, it's like I said in the very beginning, and as Scott Coffin said too in a post, leeching. They're leeching. Because, imagine if half of these games on the internet that get so much hate, imagine if they were just a small little hidden gem. Would they get that much hate? Do you really think they would get that much hate? No, because no one would know what it was. And people blame, I just have to, I think the most prime example I can think of is Five Nights at Freddy's. Most prime, because, everything gets hate. But my god, I can't go a day without going on an unrelated website and seeing something like, FNAF sucks! Or, some really offensive, and I admit, there are people in the fandom that they stereotype, okay? And that may be true about some people, but it's not true about everyone. And it's not just that. People will be like, oh, well, it's a YouTuber that did this, or a YouTuber who did that. One example I actually want to take is PewDiePie playing Five Nights at Freddy's 4, because everyone requested that he played it. I'm not going to hate on PewDiePie here, by the way. And he played it, and he didn't like it. And while he was a little bit snarky with it, and he has made fun of the fandom, which I'm not typically cool with, he still had no choice, because people were basically threatening him, and they were doing all this stuff, and he was pressured to do it, and he played it, and what happens when he doesn't like it? Everyone gives him shit about it. And he had no choice, and there was basically no way to win. So that was kind of a bad spot. And people are like, oh, well, PewDiePie promotes it and whatever. That argument's invalid. He doesn't really like the series. What, just because Markiplier did it? Well, what, just because he likes the series, that means, what, he's supposed to just take responsibility for all the stuff they have? No. There's a lot of people who like the game for the story. I'll admit that. and so they don't actually buy the game. But clearly, there are plenty of people that actually play this game. There are plenty of people, no matter what. And just because people don't get the game doesn't mean that you can just say, oh, well, it's not good. It's not good. That's the job of a YouTuber. Their job is to play things for other people. People who can't pay for the game. You know, people who just rather watch it. You know, there's some people who can't handle playing horror games on their own. You never know, because each person has their own story. Each person has their own problems, and you could have your own problems. So, my advice to you, to haters, chill out. Stop before I have to make a video just completely after I've gone insane from all this stuff I'm seeing. And to everyone who isn't a hater, just ignore it. One of the easiest ways to avoid it. I'm not going to say you can't leave hate on this video, but I would appreciate it if you didn't. So, anyway, I've been Sonicfan0001. I hope you've enjoyed this semi-rant. It is my first one, so I don't know how good it was, but hopefully you all enjoyed it anyway. But if you did enjoy it, remember to leave a like, comment, possibly subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And remember also, you can follow me on Steam. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on a bunch of different Minecraft-related forum websites. And you can, of course, subscribe to me on YouTube. So, you can follow me all those places if you want some more updates. They should all be on my channel page. And yeah, thank you all so much for liking this rant. Be sure to give me some feedback down in the description below. Say if you agree or disagree, and if you want me to do some more. Because, like I said, I do have some more planned out. They're just probably, you know, they're going to be a little bit further in the future, because I kind of want to let this one settle in. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I guess I will see you all next time. Bye.